Hello, Thirstaholics. We're kicking off season 2 today with my new hat. I've got also a new cup. And I've got a very special guest today, Michelle B. Griffin, who is a bona fide badass. So go grab your bevy. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome to the space where truth is born. No corporate scripts, just tales explored. From passion quest to purpose found, the thirsty professional breaks new ground. So fill your cup, let's have a chat about careers, life, and all of that.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Thirsty Professional. This is a place where we grab a bevy, we ditch the BS, and we get real about careers, purpose, and passion. I'm your host, Beth Campbell, former corporate queen, now full-time author and podcaster. I'm author of the award-winning Where the Hell is My Bacon? For all of you struggling corporate folks out there and you need a laugh and maybe some bacon recipes, go check it out. And recently released my first novel, which is The RIP Files, Case of the Demon Drums, inspired by a real case when I was a paranormal investigator for 10 years. If you're out there watching live, please let us know that you are here in the comments, where are you from, and most importantly, what are you drinking? If you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay, and of course, let us know if you have any questions or feedback so we can address it during the live stream or afterward in the comments. Today, my very special guest on The Thirsty Professional is Michelle B. Griffin. Michelle is a TEDx speaker, get ready, TEDx speaker, author, podcaster, former corporate queen, and creator of the Own Your Lane Recognition Roadmap. She helps smart, accomplished people figure out how to talk about what they do in a way that others actually understand, remember, and act on. If you have ever struggled to answer the question, so what do you do? This is the conversation for you. She is, as I mentioned, also a bona fide badass, and I'm thrilled to kick off the season with her. Please welcome Michelle Griffin. Michelle, welcome to The Thirsty Professional.
So Beth and we're finally doing it. Like 6 months ago, we talked about, and I am so thrilled and honored to be your first guest. Congrats on season 2.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I would be remiss if I didn't, for those of you who are joining who have been here before, this is not my normal steampunk hat. I got a new hat and I always name them. This is Miss Georgina Featherstone is the name of my hat. So I'm thrilled to be here with you and Miss Georgina to talk about who knows how to navigate what we do.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun conversation because you were fun and I'm sitting there rocking to the intro tunes. That is cool. Like if you want to wake up and have fun today, please watch this or in the replay. We're about to do that.
Thank you.
So the only thing I'm missing is a prop. All these guests before had props. Like, oops, they didn't tell me that. So
well, you know what? You're always welcome to drop an F-bomb if you want to really be in the club or some other swear word. But yeah, some people wear hats and some people don't. But I always do ask what bevy are you drinking? So what are you drinking today, Michelle?
When I say this, don't think I'm one of these nerds because I'm behind the morning. I'm drinking water with apple cider vinegar in it. It's boring, but it's healthy. And
yeah, tell me about the apple cider vinegar because I've heard this before, helping with things like digestion and but what is the reason that you have the?
So every morning I wake up, I have a tall glass of cold water with apple cider vinegar, the raw kind, like Bragg's brand.
Yeah.
And then I take my vitamins, and then I have a glass of hot caffeinated tea, and then a coffee later. And I just haven't gotten to the coffee. So I I sound like a nutritional freak, but it tastes. You can whatever has much strong as you like. My husband hates it, but I love it. And it's healthy. So, hey, let's get a kickstart the right way. So, yeah, I'm kind of boring, but I'm not boring in the drinking, but I'm not boring in life. And I love that you are here having valid, fun conversations, but good stuff. Nothing boring, all helpful.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. So you're in Pensacola, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
What's your weather like there? Because I went out this morning and it was 17 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is like a -8 or 9 Celsius. I'm just curious. I always want to know from people in the warmer climes. Please tell me something like it's not like, freezing.
Well, fun fact, in Northwest Florida, we're not like Central or even Miami. So it was 30 degrees here this morning. There's frost in my
Ooh.
neighbors' roofs, and we have a small percentage of snow coming on Sunday. So I'm excited about that. So
What?
what
Are
the
you
hell?
are
I
you
know.
really excited?
Last year we had
You're like
10
the
inches.
Colorado people.
Yes. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so I'm gonna be out in it later. I'm not scared of cold. So cold for me, right? Not for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, even at this point, 30 degrees in the morning compared to today. Although I will say it was a lot better this morning at 17 degrees than it was yesterday, which was around freezing because it was so windy and my cheeks were just, but anyway. I want to jump over to our comments because we already got a ton of comments coming in.
Oh,
So I want to welcome some of our guests. Eileen Pizzi, regular visitor here from New Jersey. Ooh, a theme song. Yes. Lion Flood, former guest, did that great theme song. He created that for me. Doris Walsh, former and future guest on the show. Hey, Beth. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Doris. Stella
hello.
who I'm so glad you're here, Stella, because I'm going to talk about multi-potentialite a little bit with Michelle today. But Stella wasn't sure she was going to make it, but she says it's fate. My friend got stuck on a train. I don't know if they think that's fate, but so apparently I'm supposed to be with you. This is the second time it's happened? Latte is on the table and a brie prosciutto sandwich. Yummy.
Mm.
We have a LinkedIn user. Sometimes LinkedIn is not friendly with me. So if this is, if you can just let us know who you are, LinkedIn user who says hi. I have a
Yep.
couple of people that come through that it may be that
Well, that's their settings. They haven't released their settings to third-party platforms and stuff. That's a
Okay.
settings issue on them. I know,
Okay.
we wanna know who you are because look at all these great people from all over the world. Hello, everyone.
Yes. Willie Scott, former guest on the show from season 1. Hello from a not so sunny Scotland. It's a wee bit dreich in Scotland today, eh, Willie? I hope I said that right. And he's having coffee. Then we have Tanya. I hope I'm not going to pronounce your name wrong. Felanius. I hope that's correct. I think, is that one of your connections? Happy to be here from Amsterdam with a simple glass of
Mm.
water. Doris says, Miss Georgina's Featherstone is very classy. Eileen getting her coffee ready. Stella starts her day with a glass of cold water and a tablespoon of baking soda. 30-year-old
Mm.
habit. I do that when I have acid issues, which last night I had. Have you ever had acid reflux like at night?
Mhm, mhm.
It's
That's the
horrible.
thing?
It's
Yeah, I mean, that's the cure,
horrifying.
apparently? Okay.
Apparently, I don't know. Sometimes I'll pop a Pepsid. If it's repeatable, I have to go, over the counter meds. But anyway, Sky is here. Sky is going to be a guest this season. Hi
Nice.
there. And it's Diane in Charlottesville. Oh, hi, Diane. Diane in Charlottesville, very close to me. So Diane and I have actually met in person. Hi, Diane.
What a
Um,
great group of people we have here
Yes, and
today.
probably more that are not, not everybody chimes in here. Anna Kay listening from rainy Lisbon. Okay, we've got a Portugal person here. That's awesome. Next week, speaking of Portugal, Heidi Medina, who's in Portugal, is going to be our
Yes.
guest. So, well, let's jump right in because I want us to talk about you, Michelle. So, first of all, I always like to start off with give us a little bit about who you are and, what's the passion around what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I absolutely love helping brilliant people step out and stand out, really help them position their brand, their message, and their visibility with my Own Your Lane roadmap and just get out there and do what they're meant to do, the work that lights them up, that, matters and makes a difference. Absolutely what I love. When we talk about my what do you do thing and my Spark soundbite thing, it's not about just saying, if I just said I was a personal brand strategist, if I said I was like accountant or yoga instructor, whatever, you have preconceived notions or not even about what we do. And so I love just having a mission or person and what I'm here and passionate because that is sparking a conversation. That's what I call, this isn't a sales pitch, the Spark soundbite.
Well, it's
And
okay. Sales pitch.
yes, no, but I'm really want to help people. Being clear is a superpower, right? We don't
Yeah.
always like attract them or want to go with the best. We want to go with the people who clearly we understand and get us. And so that's what I love doing. And so through speaking, coaching, podcasting, book writing, my own events, I'm here as a multi-passionate, but a single mission. So can I say you
Yeah.
can be multi-passionate? For me, it's a single mission. Might have a
Yes.
bunch of different avenues, but that's truly the direction I'm here for.
That's something that I'm exploring. So, Stella, who's on our in our audience today, turned me on to this concept of the multi-potentialite, which it's not my favorite word, just because it seems very clinical, but it is a word, and it is defined as people who have multiple career paths, multiple creative efforts. They excel at multiple things, and that's kind of you. I mean, that's
Mhm.
not kind of you; it is you. So I'm glad that we're talking about that. And I want to jump into that too, because I think it's interesting. The people who have been told our whole lives, you need to find your niche, you need to focus more, and there's a lot of guilt in that. But as somebody who is, um, you help people answer the question, so what do you do, right? Which
Yeah.
even if you're not a multi-potentialite is difficult. What do you think that people get wrong most about that, about expressing what they do? What is probably one of some of the bigger things that you see?
Well, there's a couple. I think we never really practice it or know it, so we default to our job title or our resume, or we just start rambling on and people are glossing over. Or, then there's the whole elevator pitch and it comes and we're construed to be pitch this, pitch that. No one, have you seen the LinkedIn DMs? No one wants that. So that's the second one. And the third one, we're just too close to it. So that's why I started off this last year. I was asked to do this speech and I created something. And back then it was how to talk about yourself so you're not boring. Depending on the audience, it changes. But I created this framework, this thing. Now, I don't want you, when I say this, to be a script and a robot. It's a spark of conversation, especially in the world of AI. We need human connection. We want the right people to get us, understand us, and, continue to chat with us. So many conversations lead to opportunities, and that's what this is. So I very rarely say, I mean, I did it in the bio. Sometimes you need context, but when I'm out in the world, I don't say I'm a personal brand strategist. I had a disaster story on that. I'll tell you about later in February, no, fall of 2023. So that was really what led me to create this, because I had such a bad experience
Oh,
getting
do
back.
tell. Oh, do
Oh, I
tell.
mean, it's not like, well, let's just say, like many of us in 2020, I started my business right before COVID. Then we are online. We jumped on the world, whatever. We all were so used to being online. And I'm a very extroverted person. Like, people are my, charger. Like your iPhone has a charger. Like, people are my charge
Yes.
cord. Okay. So by fall 2023, I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? And then I realized I hadn't been around people, I just hadn't been around like I used to. So I made it my mission that September I marked on my calendar, you name it. I went to every networking event in my Pensacola area, Florida, breakfasts, lunches, happy hours. I meant about 5 of them. And then the grandfather of them all was something called speed networking, SNAP. Have you ever been to a speed networking event? Oh my
I
god.
yeah.
Like a speed
We you and
dating
I
event,
talked
I
a
guess?
little.
I've never been one of those.
Yeah.
Well, you have to say who you are, what you do, I think in like 30 or 60 seconds, which is even harder. I didn't prepare myself, for any of these, okay? I went in cold turkey and all these. Every time I would go to one of these things, I just felt like, "Michelle, I mean, it didn't connect. I just felt like such a loser. Like, I did not connect. I didn't know how to talk about myself, because we don't train ourselves. We don't do
Right.
it. And so each time I felt a little bit disconnected. I felt off. But after that snap one at this event downtown, I remember driving down Scenic Highway, which is the long road, scenic road to my house. And I'm like, I just felt like so dejected. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you can't, you didn't, you ruined it. Like, you just ruined the moment. You just didn't connect. And when you don't feel right, something's off. I'm like, what is wrong? So I got really nerdy at that moment to like, why is this like this? And there were other people who, seemingly kind of got it. And a lot of people didn't at these snap things, no
Yeah.
shame or anything. So I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So I just got really into like, how can I be more confident and clear in who I am? Because that's what I teach people to do. Yet when it comes to us, it's not so much. So that's when I invented the Spark soundbite formula that I love helping people get clear on.
Well, I love that story, well, because you and I actually talked a little bit about speed networking. I'm not a fan. I love networking, but I don't like the ones where you have to give your stuff. Even practiced the whole 30 to 45 second, and then you're done, and then it's next, somebody's next. I like to tell a little. I don't want people to be long-winded because that's a problem too, but I like to be able to talk with people authentically about what they do. And I think that's probably one of the downfalls of the speed networking is you don't get a chance to be, have real conversations. But
It's forced.
I love the evolution here, because as somebody who went from corporate in sort of an entrepreneur world where I was sort of dabbling and transitioning, it was really awkward and weird. Like, what do you do? I don't know. I mean, I'm in corporate, but I'm here with entrepreneurs. How can I even help you? I don't, And then when I became full time, not corporate, then it was like, I think I actually engaged in certain um, uh, uh, activities and roles in my career because I felt so guilty about just saying I'm an author podcaster, because I didn't know how to express that. I didn't know how to say that in a way that was like, bold and confident. It was always sort of, well, I'm just an author podcaster, former corporate queen. And then, like, I don't know, what do I really have to offer you? And I'm sure in the early days, I probably came off as, oh, she's nice, but I don't really, yeah. And then I just, a lot of that was confidence. So I think, like you,
Yeah.
I just had to really embrace and say, fuck it. Sorry, we're a sweary podcast. Fuck it.
No, I get it. I mean, even going back to when I worked in my role, my last role as an executive director of a property insurance thing, and I would get so mad internally. Everyone thought I worked in insurance. Like, I hadn't created my personal brand then either,
Yeah.
I knew I was known in this sphere, but everyone thought outside I worked for insurance. I used to just get so mad inside. No, I don't work. Nothing wrong with insurance if that's your thing, but I don't work. I was just misidentified. And it drove me nuts. So when I started going to these things, I go, yeah, I'm a personal branding strategist. Well, in the LinkedIn world, maybe not in Pensacola, Florida. Like, what is that? Like, I'm such a communicator. I can't stand when I disconnect myself and my communication or from someone else, because I want to get to know you. And so I was just so mad at myself. Like, Michelle, you do this for a living. You have double degrees in, communications, and you can't communicate yourself well. So I was just like, I just felt like so, because but it projects, like when you walk in there clear and confident, not scripted, by like, hey, I'm Michelle, and this is who I am, what I stand for, how I help, or what I do, and what I'm passionate about, or what I serve, whatever. You just stand a little taller,
Yeah.
and you feel better, and people feel that 93% of communication is nonverbal. So that 7% we got a nail, right? So anyway, so that's why I'm so passionate, because I feel like the you be you, that's good. But
Yeah.
heck, we don't know who we are. I mean, of course I'm going to be me. I wouldn't be anything else, but I want to know, how do I talk about myself so I feel really clear and people get it and we spark something. But here's the thing, Beth, we're not meant for everybody. We're not supposed to
Right.
light the world and connect with everybody. 8 billion people, no way. So we just got to find our people. So that's what we're here for.
So, Michelle, how do you, as a person who is one of those multi-creatives, multi-passionate, how do you navigate that when you have, even though, I know, you have a very nicely related, but you're still, you're promoting yourself as an author and a speaker and a podcaster, and you've got your program. How do you navigate, what do I do? Who am I, when you have all of these things?
Yeah, and I probably broke my own rule in the bio when I sent it that way. Basically, I help brilliant experts, mostly brilliant women experts, become authorities. I position them, right? I help them become authorities in their field, so they can get out and feel really clear and amplify their brilliance. Because when we do that, if I help these women get out there super clear in message and position, they're going to hit their mark. They're going to meet their people, help their people, and collectively we're connecting the dots to bigger transformation in our world, right? So I help women experts become authorities in their space, right? And so when I do that now, I just have a simple line, and that resonates. So the right people are like, oh, that's interesting. And then there are other people who might want to know more. They lean in and go, oh, that's interesting, tell me about that more, or is it through, so it just sparks a conversation. But truly the problem I solve, here's the thing from today's takeaway for me, if you can know the problem you solve, we can start from there. That's the nucleus, and we reverse engineer it from there. But I solve the problem of professional obscurity, being unclear, unknown, unsure, everything's, I can see clearly now. Can you sing that for me? Because I'm tone deaf. I can see clearly now. What's that song? The
I can
sky.
see clearly now the rain is gone.
Yes, yes. It's like the fog is gone from my life, and I'm here because truly, like I did the TEDx talk April of 2025, which is still not out and maybe never will be, but that's okay.
Come on.
Yeah, I said, we all have gifts in this world that we're meant to share. It was all about the power. The title is How to Overcome the Judgment Monster and Boldly Put Yourself Out There, because we're so unsure, unclear. Yeah. And so that's really what I'm here for, to get brilliant people out there so they can do the work that lights them up and changes lives.
Do you think when you're working with people in helping them to become that authority, how much of that is them just not recognizing that they already are, like a confidence, or they just they're just not even aware that you already are an authority. You just don't know it, or you don't know how to put it out there.
Well, I think, the people I traditionally work with are ready for that next level. So they're doing some work and they're getting results, but they recognize this inner calling to kind of go higher, their next level. And at this point through this, they've kind of made themselves a little fuzzy, right? Or they're not sure. We're too close to our own brilliance. And so they need a narrower way out there, a sharper positioning, a clearer message, and better visibility. Because I really marry personal branding PR with my work. I said it 5 years ago, and it's even more important with AI. But so I really help them get that narrow lane so they can get the best traction. I do not like the word niche. I don't like it because it's paralyzing people. Just
No
find
niche.
your narrow lane. Yeah, and you can
Go to the
go in
niche.
here. But it truly is to get. They don't see all the pieces of their brilliance. I help them uncover it, connect it together like Legos, to build this brilliance. And so that's why I created the Own Your Lane Recognition Roadmap, these 4 steps. There's a lot of advice out there. There's too much noise. There's too much distraction. A lot of times personal branding is denoted as just get on social media, do content. Especially on LinkedIn, it used to bug me. I'm a photographer, I'm a stylist, I'm whatever. You are a component of that, but the personal brand foundation is what I give you. Like I give you your complete roadmap out there. I'll tell you real quick if you want me to, the 4 steps.
Yes, tell me. My next question, Michelle, is what can you tell us about the Own Your Lane Recognition Roadmap?
Okay, well, it's been evolved even since last year because it's just kind of like chiseling marble, but I'm really good where it is now. So let's talk about listeners, viewers. If you can jot this down, you're going to be in really good shape to kind of go, who I am, what I talk about. Okay, launch your vision. Where is it you want to go? We can't get anywhere unless we know where we want to go. So where is it? What is the big thing I want to go for, right? You got to get really super, super granular. But I marry that with what I like to say is our professional purpose. Why do I want to get out there? What is the vision I want to see? Why does the work I do matter? Because on the days that we don't want to get out there, I remember this isn't about me. None of this is what I do in my personal branding. It's service-based visibility. I have to get out there because the work matters. So anyway, what's your professional purpose? What is the work you do matter? Like that's it. And I'm sure for you, we're going to dig out for you in a minute, Beth. Then, okay, going down the road, we know what we want to do and why it matters for our work, but now we need to go, how are we different? In a world where there's thousands of us, hundreds of thousands of us, maybe even millions who do this same thing. How am I different? What is my unique point of view, perspective, whatever, how I see things differently? It's so interesting because the right people will latch onto that. But that's all surrounded, going back to the problem you solve for the person or you're here for, Now we don't get super granular on the demographics, but if I know I'm here to solve obscurity for professionals, in a nutshell, and I have my own way of seeing things, you're hearing this come out now. So we know our problem ourselves, who we're here for, and our unique point of view on it. So that's positioning, in a rough area. okay, now we're getting, those are the two internal levers that I need to know. Going on our journey now, we're hitting the stage of N. And so it's LANE. So navigate your message. And this is where that spark soundbite comes in. If we know how to talk about ourselves, shout out to Heidi in real life, which is both online and in person, on social media, on LinkedIn. When you keep that message going, the same message, so people know it, repeat it, remember it. Wow. So I teach people to talk about themselves. So they get it. Like, oh, Heidi is this. Shout out to our friend Heidi. Beth Ann is this. Anyway, we navigate our message. So we're crystal clear across the universe where we show up. Okay. Then we're getting to the last and ongoing coordinate is E, elevate your visibility. Where do I best show up? Where are the rooms, the platforms, the channels, the places that I need to be visible to keep elevating, to keep growing, right? Because clarity without visibility, they go hand in hand, right? So these are the 4 steps: your direction, your positioning, your message, and your elevation of visibility. But here's the thing, people just jump out, but when they're not clear, Heidi, that's when they feel disconnected and quit or whatever. So anyway, LANE, that is how to own your lane.
I love it. So I want to break down a little bit here because I made some notes here. So you're number 1, knowing where you want to go. Why don't people know or think about? It's something that I really almost every day say to myself, especially when I get into a little bit of rut. I'm like, Beth, remember where you want to be. And if I don't know that, if I can't articulate or think about or visualize where I'm going to be, how do I know how to get there?
That's it in a nutshell. Thank you for articulating that so well. But attached to a why that matters, why that matters, not just for you, but the people you're here for. It's service-based visibility. I talked about that in the TEDx. People who fear getting out there because it's promotional, narcissistic. And there are thousands of us who, those kind of brands, but for the true experts who have a vision, a transformation, you got to be out there for that person you're here for. So you nailed it on the L.
Do you think that with the why, that people think that they have their why, but it's not really the right why, or it's not really the true why? And I only ask this because I have dealt with the why in areas of my life, and I've used some techniques and worked with other people, and then it's really it's astounding to me how I think I know what my why is on something, and then I dig a little bit and I realize, oh no, that's not your why. So something like, oh, my why might be, why do you want to be a successful book author and make money?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to have a vacation home for my family. That's not your why. That's not my why. My why is not, my why, if I dig, is I'm seeking connection. So do you find that this sometimes
it should be another people? Like, I don't know about Simon Sinek. I'm not bringing his stuff. I'm not against him, but that messes in people's brains, that whole why. And he was talking about companies too.
Yeah.
My why I want to get out there and help more people is because I believe that brilliant people shouldn't be held back because they're unclear, unknown, unsure. I believe that we all have gifts and brilliance that can change lives. And if we're out there really well positioned and, with all these steps I teach, then the world will be, I close my TEDx like that. When we put ourselves out there more collectively, we'll be better. The people we're here for will be absolutely better, but the world itself will be kinder, more creative, smarter, gentler, whatever the words were, So we're finding a collective good for all when we get out there. So it's not like I want, I could say I want a 7-figure business or what, but it truly is the why for someone else. Why is this an impactful thing?
I think it's important to understand that deeply. For your final step for, and it's probably not final, it's probably a loop. It's probably repeats itself sometimes, but elevating visibility, you talked a little bit about, people who don't, they think it's, narcissistic and self-promotion, but I mean, is that what you run into with people most? Is that reluctance? Are there people that are, you're working with accomplished people, so I imagine that most of them probably already have some level of confidence.
Yes.
So getting out there and promoting yourself, is it really that, I don't want to be perceived as the used car salesman of whatever I do?
And yeah, when I first started on LinkedIn, really posting, it was 5 years ago this year when I started that challenge every day of 2021, I posted every single day. You get a lot of pushback. And that was 5 years ago. The world's changed a lot. But people, and those are the people who usually are sitting on the sidelines and don't want to do it. And they say, well, that's, promotional narcissistic. And that's why, I'm here to say it's service-based visibility. It's stewardship. You're bringing your gifts to help others. So usually those people I don't work with because, they're on that side or that belief. But I'm here for the people who just need a little nudge up and, need me to help them put them together so that they can get out there faster and farther. And so, we all feel that way. But when I educate them, they're like, you're right. I have all this. It's not about me. I mean, it's of me. But anyway, so they just want to keep getting out there. It fuels them, right? And it fulfills them too.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your recognition roadmap? This is something that's fairly new. Is this out there now? Is this going to be out there? If people
Well, that'll
want
be the third book, Own Your Lane or the
Oh,
Recognition Roadmap,
nice.
depending on the title. But I with the Position Yourself Planner, which was this little book that came out a year ago, is the planner for it. And so anyway, I got it out quick last year. It's been a year this month, but I always knew that the flagship, where I tell the stories of people who were on the sidelines, who were doing this, tell the people along the journey all along. I put some stories along with the framework. That is what I knew needed to be out there. And that's what I'm working on for my third book. But I just really want to be a source of inspiration, empowerment, education, and equipment as far as the tools. And so everything now is everything I speak, teach. My podcast is rebooting this month.
Yay.
Is wrapped around this. Yes. And that's what I teach when I work with these women, like, hey, to really stand out in AI, because information's a nanosecond commodity, we really need to surface up your branded point of view, framework, idea, because no one can touch that. It is something that is unique to you, and people remember you for it or go to you for it. So that is what I really this year stressing down on, is how to find your unique framework, whatever it is, because that's you and no one else can touch that, and that's your differentiator.
Yeah, so important. So you wrote your first book was the LinkedIn branding book, is that correct? So
Yes.
that came out in 2022. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 4 years, I guess 3 to 4 years. Do you think LinkedIn has changed as far as brandings in that time?
Oh yeah, we put a second edition out last year, but
Oh, awesome.
really, it's just a little updates. You don't have to rush out and buy it if you already bought it. Michelle J. Rabin and I still have the weekly LinkedIn branding podcast. We're about to start resuming recording next week. I think it's like 190 weekly episodes, and we get into the nitty gritty in 15-minute episodes. It's kind of fun. We research and address all the changes. We address all the cliches and all the things. And, even if reach is down and AI, unfortunately, has flooded the things, I'll never leave it. It is our launch pad. It is our personal brand website.
It's so hard.
I found people all over the world like you.
It's like a friend who's, constantly in trauma or drama. More likely. And you're like, they're just, I just can't not.
But I mean, look at all the amazing people we have on this.
I know, it's true.
Thing. Like, how would we ever know them?
Michelle, I would not have this podcast right now if it were not for that I wanted to, because I was kind of dabbling after I got out of corporate, and I was kind of feeling like I was losing myself and really falling into that, well, you must be an independent consultant or a career coach. And I did dabble with that, but it just didn't feel like me. And I was, how can I navigate the true me, my true thread that weaves through everything that I do, which is no BS, being transparent, speaking out in a world of LinkedIn, which is still very much changing, but also perception, at least for me, was, well, that's your business place. And so that's when that's when the Thirsty Professional was born. And I said, look, I'm just going to start a podcast and talk with badass people and be very transparent about the good, bad, and ugly of what they've experienced. And because I didn't want to leave LinkedIn, because I have so many amazing people in my network who are primarily probably 98% on LinkedIn, and that's where they're active. And I don't want to lose that, because those are back to Heidi Medina's distinction between in real life is online. So
Yeah, she slapped our wrist with that, and I haven't forgotten. Shout out to you, Heidi. And no, but no,
Multiple.
seriously, when we first met, I don't even know how we connected, but you were on my LinkedIn live show last
Yeah,
July, and
yeah.
bringing it back into the month. But you were a breath of fresh air. I love your branding, everything you stand for, and it's just perfect. It's little anchors in my mind, and just keep being. You can still be you. Just sometimes we need to know, how do I talk about this awesome, fun
Yeah.
me, But everything you've carved out, no wonder we have such a great comment thing of people here, but they're like tuning in to how fun this is. So
And by the
thank
way, I
you.
should probably check in here real quickly. Tanya says, now I remember you, Tanya. I'm so sorry. I have just been like a crazy busy this week. Sometimes my head, I just don't even know where it's at, right? So first of all, Willie says I pronounced Drich correctly, so that's cool. It kind of means sort of like dreary. Tanya was introduced to me by Willie, so thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it, and thanks for that reminder. Sky is fascinated by the process. I think this is when you were talking about
Oh,
your
yes.
attending
Yes.
the conference, and then
Mhm.
adaptive apex. This is great. Love that you're doing this work, Michelle.
Thank
Um,
you.
Michelle, you've mentioned AI a couple of times. How's AI impacting what you're doing these days? Good, bad, or ugly?
Well, I found a way, and I thought it'd be ready by now, but I just want to show you the cover of my AI disability guide. This is the black and white cover of it. But
Okay.
all last year, starting last year, January, a year ago, I started noticing that I was getting in my, Calendly intake form, and people were finding me through AI. People were booking calls, and this happened every single month, and even getting clients. And I was like, and I finally, when I went to my website analytics and saw that Claude and Chat were my top drivers, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. It started bringing the PR nerd in me back. Like, so I started researching the heck out of all this, and I wrote a guide, and I created the 3C framework on, so I'm about to put that out, because here's the thing, going back to my big, the vision I have, I want to see more brilliant people, especially women, out there and found and hired. I want more women on stages, pages, and better wages. And so they need to be found in AI now, because that's where the world is going to. I have the stats. It's really interesting. So I'm about to put that out, and then I'm going to be sharing that a lot. My next first episode of my podcast will address that. So that's another avenue. I've used AI since the week it came out, and but on the flip
Yeah.
side, I'm a nerd, and I don't think it should ever take away human connection. Or I
Yeah.
never want, if I get another DM like, Michelle, you do personal branding? Do you want to do personal branding videos with AI? You as AI? And no, I don't. I want to be me. I want to
Yeah.
be human. I want to see humans. Thank you.
I think people are going to more and more be craving that as well as we sort of navigate, because it's just so new, and I don't think we really know where it's going to go, how it's really going to end up, impacting. It's already impacting so many things, not all good, but not all bad either. I use it. I didn't even know. Well, first of all, more women in stages, pages, and better wages. I mean, that needs to be on a T-shirt or a mug. But
Yes.
how does one, even when you talk about somebody found me on AI, what does that even mean? How does someone even find somebody on AI, let alone try to figure out how to, do that better? But I don't, is that, I mean, the only thing that comes to my mind is, oh, I'm out on Google and I say, hey, can you find me somebody, LinkedIn, own your lane. I need I don't know. I'm struggling to figure out
Well,
how.
they go in search engines. I have the stats. I have this whole thing in this 12 pages, but what people are doing now are going to search engines, or excuse me, like AI, Claude, Chat. They're going to the LLM, these large language things,
Mhm.
and punching in. So instead of asking Google, they're going to Chat or Claude or whatever. Who is a personal branding expert in my field, or just name some, whatever. There's whoever, what they're queuing up. Some are specific prompts, some are whatever. And then you'll get a list, like Michelle Griffin is a blah blah blah, and then it'll link out to you. So that's, people are writing in my Calendly thing where I say, where did you find me or learn about me? And they'll say, I asked Claude for a personal branding coach, and your name came up. I'm like, wow. I mean, that wasn't a fluke. It just kept happening and happening and happening. And
Wow.
I would probably say I got more clients last year from that than,
No kidding.
so I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So I started digging into the facts. We're going from ranking. I'm looking at my thing. And so I have the 3 C's of AI visibility, which is clarity, credibility, and continuity. And I show you how to do it. I have a checklist and then an action taking page, because I really, going back to my L, I want more brilliant people to be out there. And now
Yeah.
we have to be found in AI, platforms. So
Wow.
that's what I'm
I mean,
doing.
it's something that I hadn't even really thought about, but you know what? Now I'm going to think about it.
Yes, and if this isn't out, I tried so hard, but I'm an editor, analyzer anyway, so just wasn't ready to be out. But anyone listening to this, if you want to DM me, I know I sound one of those bro marketers. Please forgive me when I ask and say
No,
this,
that's not a
but
bro.
I don't know how else to do it if you don't want to put your email. But if you want to, contact me, I will send you the link once it's up. It should be the next day or so you can download it and start getting to work, knowing how I'm going back to the clarity, and it just walks you through the whole process in 12 simple pages.
Michelle, I so love that you are the type of a person, you did this with your, figuring out your career path and your how you talk about what you do. You did it with this. You're the type of person you just recognize, you know what? This is something that is either a problem that I've seen or I've experienced. I'm going to go out there and do something with just the passion for wanting to. There's a great line from a Tears for Fears song, and it goes, um, "We are paid by those who learn from our mistakes,"
Ooh,
and I think that's kind of like what I feel you do, and I it speaks to me because that's one of the things that I'm very passionate about. Like with writing, I've struggled so much with the publishing process, so now I put videos out there helping people with some of their common problems, and that's what you do too. You just go, hey, this is a challenge for somebody. Let me figure out a way to make it easier for you. Let me solve your problem of having to struggle or whatever, like I did. So
well,
I
thank
just, it's
you.
amazing. Yeah, it's awesome.
I guess I want to position myself as a helpful, you know, guide for people,
Yeah,
approachable, friendly, and just want to help you. I
well,
love
you
solving
are.
problems to the core, and especially, under the context of what I love doing. I mean, I wake up truly every day so thankful for the work I get to do. I meet incredible people, and they teach me things. When I'm working with them, they school me on what they're doing. I feel better for it. So I get all teary-eyed like I did in the middle of my TEDx talk. It truly is, I found my lane. I want other people to own their lane too. And so that's why I
I love
created it,
that.
made it simple and action taking as well.
I love it. I did. So we're getting close to time here, so I want to be respectful. But I did, in one of the posts that we put out there, You did tell me that you might tell us
Yes.
something that not many people know about you. So, what is something that people don't really know about you?
Okay. Well, probably because I, know a lot of people online, but not in person. But here's the thing. I people call me splits because I can do a split. I do a split every morning for the last 12 years. I can do a split on the wall, backwards, forwards. I'm like a human pretzel. So yes, I
Oh,
do a split. Now I'm not going to show a picture because that'd be kind of weird, but
it's okay.
everyone knows me.
Don't worry.
It's like Michelle does splits all the time because I want to keep limber and agile as
Yeah.
age. But back in people always say, well, Michelle, you must have been a cheerleader. And I say, well, actually, I was not, but all my friends were. But I remember being in 8th grade. I'm like, I want to learn how to do a split. And so I just kind of taught myself. And I recognize it took 6 weeks or more. I'm like, I don't want to ever lose this. So
Wow.
years ago, one of my friends gave me a birthday card. This is so funny, with like a 90-something-year-old woman doing a split. She's like, "This is you. Happy birthday. Keep it up, split." So anyway, that's my fun fact.
I love that. It's so important. It's something that I've been certainly more aware of as I get into, well, I'm a queen ager. I'm in my glory years,
Love it.
but mobility is something that has become, never was before, but now it's like, oh crap, my toes, I'm starting to get the little, what do they call it when your toe, anyway, just feet stuff. And I'm like, oh, they're just kind of achy. And so that kind of mobility. And I've seen people on social media teaching you how you can do the splits in like,
Yes.
2 months or something like that. So
I
that's
should have done that course years ago. I'm like, really? Someone has a course on that? It just drove me up the wall. But no, seriously, because when we can move, it's just, it's a life's gift. And I never want to, I want to keep
yeah.
moving, to do the work I'm here to do. till my last breath. I know that sounds so morbid, but anyway, that's a fun fact for me. People like, wow, that's so cool.
It
So
is really
you can,
cool.
yeah,
I think it's cool. It's like, I don't know. It's just something that I don't know that I know. Now I know I think one person who can do the splits, and that's
yeah,
you. So,
yeah. So were you supposed to tell us something, a fun fact too? Wasn't I supposed to drag that out of you too, Beth? Or are we keeping that under wraps?
I don't know. I mean, I've been so open about anything. I think the one thing that people that I talk about, I'm talking about more, but I didn't for a long time, was the fact that I was a paranormal investigator. And every time I talk about that, there's somebody comes out and goes, "Oh, what? Are you kidding me? That's great. I got to get your book." But yeah, I was a ghost hunter for 10 years. Had my own group with my husband, and people always ask. It really was the reason that I started writing paranormal mysteries was born of the reality of what true ghost investigations are like, which is that it's very psychological, fear,
Mhm.
and that kind of thing. And I wanted to write about that and write it. And then the stories, like you talk about the connections. Stella has a comment here about people starting to crave authentic online connections and meeting in person too. Those connections are so important, and I recognize that the stories that are behind these ghost events were much more interesting than whatever we would find on camera or in a microphone. So
Well, you and I are going to have to talk because my gift is helping people take their brilliance, brand it. And you and I, before we hit recording, you told me some of the goals you have. I already have some good ideas now for what you told
oh,
me. And
awesome.
based on that, because we got to latch into paranormal, but make it for the direction. So, like, I've already got some branding positioning in mind for you right now. That's how my brain
Oh
works.
my gosh. Well, yes, sign
Yes,
me
yes.
up.
So
Yeah,
we'll talk
absolutely.
later, but that's
We'll talk.
fascinating. I didn't know. And that is something that really anchors in my mind. So hold on to that. We're going to go
Yeah,
big places
and
with
people
it.
love it too. I did my first bookstore pitch last weekend, which is when you're an independent publisher. If you want your book in stores, you walk into a store and you say, "Hey, I would like to put my book in your store. How do I do that?" So I did that for the first time, and I was sitting talking to this woman by the cash register, a small local bookstore, and she was asking me to talk about my books. I started talking about the paranormal book. Yes, I was. It's inspired by a case that I worked. I kid you not, the timing could not have been better. There was a young woman. There were two people in line. We were next to the cash register. Two people in line, and one of them was a young woman, probably in her 20s, buying some book. And she interrupts us and she goes, Can I take a picture of that? Because that is like my thing, my jam. And so every time I talk about paranormal investigation, people come out of the woodwork like, "Oh
Yes.
my god, yes, yes." So I really do need to talk
Yeah,
more
I have
about
some
it
good
for real.
ideas about that. So, yes,
Love it.
own into that, own that lane about that, but we morph
Yes.
it into something else for where you wanna go. See, you guys
Yeah.
don't know, but she told me before we hit record something that where she wants to go this year, so I can't wait to chat about it with you.
With this probably the speaking thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have
Yeah,
some good
so yeah,
ideas,
well,
but
more on
yeah,
that. Woo-hoo.
but,
All right, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, but this has been a fascinating show. I just wanna in case I don't say it now, thank you for letting me be your first guest, and I've had such a fun time today.
Well, thank you. So before we do wrap up, I do wanna, if you can let us know, what's the best way to reach you, and I'm gonna put your links up here if I can remember where they
Yeah,
are. But, yeah, where do
reach
you
out to me,
yeah,
LinkedIn.
and do you have any you talked to them about many things that you have, so let us know a little
Yeah,
bit
or
about that.
Michelle and here's another line I learned I do now since that horrific fall 2023 networking fiasco. I also say, "Hi, I'm Michelle B. Griffin." The B stands for branding because that's what I do, and that angers in people's mind. So, go to Michelle Branding Griffin. No, it's michellebgriffin.com, michellebgriffin.com, and that's why I'm in and little fun fact on the AI guide thing, I'm training AI that I'm Michelle B. Griffin because there's many, many other Michelle Griffins out there. So
Yeah.
that's a fun fact. If you have a common name, try to find a way to distinguish it. Go to michellebgriffin.com. You see the podcast, the books, the AI guide will be up there soon, or DM me and I'll send you the link once it's up. And connect with me. I love people. I absolutely love connecting with people. And especially tell me you saw me with Beth. That would make me even happier. So
Yay.
look forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much and by the way, as always, folks, I will put all of Michelle's contact information in the comments, both on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And by the way, I see that Sky has said that I'm sorry, I forget what the name of it was. The adaptive apex is him. So Sky, I'm so happy to see you coming in from YouTube because traditionally people putting comments in YouTube are a little bit wonky, so that sometimes they don't come through. So I'm thrilled to see those coming through. But Michelle, thank you for being a guest. Honestly, I had such a hard time putting notes together for this call because you are, our previous conversations, you are so diverse, which I love about you, even though, you have a cohesiveness, you have the thread that you weave with all you do, but you are kind of that true multi-creative. And, when we've talked in the past, we've talked about podcasting and speaking and community and storytelling and network and all that stuff. So it was a hard thing to put together because there were so many things that I did want to talk about you. So
You did such a great job. Can I just say for those listening or viewing, if that's you too, don't feel bad about it. Embrace that about you, because the more channels and places that you can share your gifts, that's why I do it. That lights you up. It has to light you up. You're going to make a huge impact in this world. And we need your expertise and brilliance out there.
Absolutely. Yep. So thank you for bringing your no BS authentic self to the Thirsty Professional. Definitely appreciate it. Well, next week, my very special guest is going to be Heidi Medina. Heidi is coming back for an encore visit. So Heidi was the first person. She kicked off my first season of The Thirsty Professional as my very first guest. So like Michelle, Heidi can talk about anything, but rest assured, whatever she talks about, it's going to include relationships and the importance of relationships, because Heidi is a relationship marketing strategist, has 35 plus years of entrepreneur experience, and she is helping you become the person that others think of when someone asks, who should I work with? She's also a great friend, amazing support, and I can't wait to welcome her back. Thank you, everybody out there, for joining today, either live or in the replay. If you're on LinkedIn, please connect with myself and Michelle if you're not already. And if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. So much appreciated. If you have any additional questions or feedback, throw them in the comments, or you can DM one of us if you're able to do that. And then congratulate yourself for getting real about your career, your purpose, and your passion. So now Miss Georgina Featherstone, Michelle, and I are going to bid you a fond farewell.
Bye, everyone.
Take it easy.
Fill your cup, let's have a chat about careers, life, and all of that.